make sure that everybody is here, and super grateful you're here today. It's a cold day in Kentucky. It actually snowed. My kids woke up super early after I got back from the gym and they went out in their snow boots and they got crazy. So I am pulling up the Facebook group on my electronic device to be able to answer any questions that you might have today about gamification and the whole works. Super, super cool stuff we're talking about today. And silencing my phone. And great takeaways for you to think about how this is applicable for you inside your business, what this means for your customers, and just the whole shebang. So it is 2:01, and I will wait one more minute because I know that not everybody is like me, weird. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you've taken time out of your day to learn about gamifying your business. These principles are game changing, pun intended. It is so fun to motivate people, to engage them, to empower them, to help them prosper by using the things they already have inside of them. All of us have a human designed to fill in pieces of stories. We make assumptions, right? But when we use the principles of gamification, we are able to align our customers with our goals and their goals. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you have comments, definitely put them in the chat. Definitely hashtag you're live if you're live so I can follow you that way too. And we will get going. I felt like it was really important to start by giving you the clarification of gamification because so many people may be using principles of gamification without knowing it, and other times understanding our strategy can help us to enhance our gamification. With some of my existing gamification clients, understanding their goals and what they're already working on, this is just adding to the layers that you already have. And if you don't have a lot of maybe foundational layers, this will definitely inspire you to set them up and get clear on your marketing strategy so you are able to have the control that you want inside of your business. So today we are talking about the 3 reasons why you need to reward your customers to increase revenue. And this didn't come about as like, oh, this would be fun. I actually hired somebody that said they were really good at gamification earlier this year, and I was really excited. I told some of the women that I mastermind with that I hired a gamification coach, and it was a series of 5 or 6 lessons, 2 calls, and I was throughout my inquiry with her, like, I talked about gamification like 6 times. I knew that I had been obsessed with gamification, but I didn't really understand the level until I had this experience. I paid this person and got on the call to do gamification, and they showed me principles I was already automating in my business, and that was it. So in that moment, I knew that I knew more than this person about gamifications. They were very product specific with gamification. And I realized I came from a long line of gamification or of gamifiers, right? And so a little bit about me is that I love games. And I'm not a really competitive person when it comes to board games, but I'll tell you, I was raised in a family of 8 kids and 11 years, and I'm the second oldest. And so everything was kind of a little tiny competition. And my freshman year of college, I was awarded a full ride scholarship to play soccer at a private university. And my freshman year, I was #1 in the nation for goals and assists. So like receiving that award in the division that I was playing in, I thought that was like my whole world. Like, it was amazing. And it was, you know, receiving All-American and all tournament. It was really, really exciting. And that was just one little rung in gamification that really kind of opened my eyes to what we do to be motivated and to motivate other people, right? So I always knew that I had a competitive spirit inside of me. I am okay with losing too. So it gets interesting. I took the Strength Finder test after I had these calls with this gamification expert that didn't teach me more than I already knew. And my number one strength was ideation. And that was very validating to me because I knew I come up with ideas all the time. I don't have any trouble giving people ideas, and people will say, "Oh, well, thank you. What do I owe you?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just an idea I had for you." And so it really led me to launching a gamification agency with the idea of helping people with ideas, an idea agency to gamify your business. And we launched. And once we launched, we took on a couple clients, and it's been really fun to see them get results as they've employed gamification. So this is the place if you need ideas on strategy and how to gamify your business so it serves you and so you serve those people that you love most. Ultimately, I'm a boy mom. I'm motivated by fun. I want things to be fun. And I believe that when they are fun, we progress and we enjoy it, right? So I went through certifications after I hired this gamification coach and got 0 results. And I knew that I knew more than them. I went on and got certified in gamification basics, and I'm working on more gamification certifications. So that's a little bit about me and kind of where I come from in terms of that. I love marketing because my number one strength is ideation. I work well in product development and launching new offers. And part of that is creating the identity inside of a business to gamify it. So day one, we are talking about the 3 reasons why you need to reward your customers to increase revenue. And you might be thinking, like, what exactly does that mean? We're going to break it down here so you understand that there is a hard truth about launching an offer in the marketplace. For those of you that are here that are coaches or course creators or small business owners, or maybe you do freelance work, this is applicable for all of it. This is applicable for the CEO that has 40 employees. This is applicable for the infopreneur, the person that crafts up their knowledge and sells it online. And inside this truth is that launching a course without gamification is the same as launching ads with no Facebook pixel. Now, if you don't run Facebook ads, this doesn't mean as much to you. And if you've never launched a course, it doesn't mean as much to you. But if you have launched a course or Facebook ads, you know that a pixel is a tiny bit of code that tracks everything your customer does when they're on the sales page. So you know their age, you know what they like, you know where they spent time on your website. So launching a course or a program or any type of, did I say program, course, or offer or service without gamification, your data is dead. You don't have data. So how do you know what people liked about your course or your program? You have to do a lot of extra marketing research and a lot of data collection. What if I told you there was a way to automate it? We've been automating it in the gamification agency, okay? So understanding that launching a course without those principles makes it very difficult because you don't have any data, right? And then we wonder why people don't do our courses or they don't want to work with us. We don't actually know what's working inside of our business. So the analytics help you optimize future offers. When things are gamified, you're able to see, okay, this actually motivated the person, they actually took action, and we're going to optimize this because we know what our people want, right? So gamification is finding that sweet spot on what you're passionate about, but also what is moving the needle for the people that are buying your products or the people that are just in your audience space, right? So gamifying your data or data, I'm not sure, where you live, how you say that, to motivate them, where they feel like, oh, That was awesome. I want to do more of that. It is data that allows you to inspire them to take action, which is a really big deal because so many people buy courses and they never finish them. They sometimes forget about them even. And as a course creator or someone that's creating a gamified experience, this changes everything. So your data will motivate, inspire, engage, and empower them to prosper, to get the results that you've talked about in your business and inside of your programs. So I want to take you through the 3 reasons why gamification works. And I want to pull up the Facebook and see if anybody has any questions for this particular section before I dive in to the 3 reasons. So hang with me for a second and let me just pull this up to see if people are pretty straightforward once you understand how powerful gamification can be. Okay, I don't see anything there. So we're going to go back to sharing our screen and talking about the 3 reasons why gamification works in our biz. Thanks for hanging tight, everybody. Here we go. Okay, so the most important reason to understand gamification, right? We've talked about, we already know the why. We already know like this is a game changer and it's something that motivates our people to come back for more. So people need to be motivated. People want, psychology shows us that people also want to be led. All throughout history, people have always had a leader. And people crave for that opportunity to follow someone that's been there and done that before. So gamification means that everything that you've become, and I'm like getting really close to the screen because I think this is really powerful. Everything that you've become an expert in, you can gamify so they take the same steps so they get the same results. Have you ever been in a program where they told you what to do, but maybe it wasn't motivating and then nothing happened? I think we can all raise our hand that that's been an experience that we've had. So people want to be led, and gamifying it actually holds their hand without you having to do it if you set it up correctly, which is very compelling. It motivates people to achieve their own goals. This is really important because people they don't buy programs, they don't buy offers, they don't buy services, they buy results. They have end goals that they want to meet. And this allows them to take the steps to achieve that. Gamification finds that sweet spot between the individual and the goals of the course creator, the CEO. Okay. So this is where gamification is really crucial too, because if I have someone going through my program, maybe it's a low ticket, maybe it's an SLO. You guys know I've launched 4 or 5 successful SLOs, and that's the bare entry to my business, a self-liquidating offer. So I want people to be able to have quick wins, and I want to reward them as they do that. And as they do that, I know I'm fulfilling my role as the course creator, the CEO, because I'm preparing them for my high ticket. I'm preparing them for other things. But more importantly, I'm giving them results. And if I'm giving them results, they're going to want to work with me more. It's really important to remember, and most of you may know this, that it is more expensive to acquire a brand new customer than it is to upsell your current customer. So being able to give them a user experience that excites them, they will get excited when you launch another course, right? Because they remember that it was fun and you motivated them. Number 2, people like to be engaged and empowered. And you might be thinking is that really true? People do thrive with structure, and we're going to kind of pull it down apart. People want to feel purpose in the world. All of you can raise your hand, and I know that that would be true, that having purpose in the world feels better, right? So adding purpose into your offer where people feel that purpose and they take it upon themselves is a paradigm shift in itself that will always yield results. Simple tasks help the brain learn over and over, time and time again. Simple tasks studies have also shown that people will retain what they've learned when it is small bite size. So you've heard me talk about binge and buy a lot. You've heard me talk about member vault. These are two reasons that I really love the elements of gamification, because I've always been really simple with tasks and I want people to retain things, and you retain things by implementing, right? So that's where gamification also comes in really powerfully. So being able to understand that you can set up your offerings, your services, or even your culture in your business where people take small actions, they implement and they learn, and it gets ingrained in them, right? That purpose that they're searching for in the world, they found through your community. It also taps into the brain's ancestral status and power reward system. So we all like to be rewarded, right? It's really interesting as we think about some of the books I've read about gamification talks about the downside of participation trophies. And when we give them to everybody, then it tells the people that worked really hard that their hard work is just the same as the person that didn't do anything. So gamification is the sweet sauce, is the answer, is the solution to rewarding people who work hard and smart. Because those are the people that are going to get the results, right? People that are putting in the work and they are taking those small actionable steps to get results. And pardon me, as we know, this is part of what we are designed to do. Our brains love it. And we will do things more than normal if we know there's a reward. I was reading the book Influence, and it talked about a gas company that wrote their customers and said, if you can cut down on your gas bill for this next month, we will publicly put you in our newsletter. And the people that received this letter, they went from they saved from 27% of their gas. And then they were very motivated by that. And then the company came out and said, oh, we're actually not going to publicly thank you. And because these people had already committed to it, they kept saving energy, and it went up to they cut their gas bill in half. So they gave them a simple task, right? And then they implemented, and then it retained, and then it became part of their lifestyle. So wouldn't that be cool if you launched an offer or a product or a program inside of your business that made these everlasting changes inside of people's lives that change the trajectory of where they were going? That is pretty powerful. It serves them and it prepares them to buy your high ticket items and work with you one-on-one, right? Most important part is that it decreases stress or fatigue associated with learning. How many times is it overwhelming to buy a program and it's 6 hours long and there's no actionable items other than you need to watch this all and then you need to do 100 worksheets, right? So gamification, if we were to set out on Mario Kart or Nintendo just regular Nintendo, and there's 10 levels and there was no winning in between, would it be what it is today? It wouldn't, right? Same with Tetris. I play Tetris with my children. It's the only video game that I do play with my children, which is weird because I'm obsessed with gamification, but I don't like to be plugged in unless I'm working. So being able to move up the value ladder of games, right? So this is really, really cool stuff, because if you're in the digital marketing world, you understand the importance of taking people on a journey. Taking people on a journey is part of gamification. Really powerful. Number 3, people want to be inspired. And I say that because I am guilty, right? Have you ever looked up YouTube to be inspired? There's plenty of nights where I could go plug in and watch Netflix and I'm scouring the internet, what is the best copywriting technique? And I found some good ones, but I want to be inspired. So I want to look for places to be inspired. So if inspiration is part of the gamification as a course creator, shouldn't I be putting that in everything that I do? So then I am also inspiring my people. And when they're looking for inspiration, they know where to look, right? and infusing inspiration into the actionable items that you're giving them is really, really, really cool. I keep saying powerful and cool because I truly believe that these changes that happen inside of your business are results of gamification. Today, one of my clients texted me or just sent me a message through Facebook, and she said, people are taking the steps that we set up. And it was a screenshot, and the person said, I need to get permission so I can share it. The person said, like, I'm doing the challenge by her. And so there now this person is evangelizing her program to the rest of her audience, okay? Because we took the steps where it was a very strategic. What we're doing is very strategic to move them up the value ladder. Gamification improves the user experience, engagement, loyalty, and satisfaction. So what are the chances of you giving an actionable item to somebody inside your community? They take action, they get results, they enjoyed it. What's the chances of them coming back to work with you again? It is so much higher. And this example of this client, she teaches people how to grow Facebook groups. What are the chances of that person going through her gamified program? That's a freebie, by the way, which is pretty brilliant. And being able to take the steps, make more steps, taking more steps in her group than any other group that she's in. It is way more likely that she's going to be loyal to this person teaching her how to grow groups, and that she's going to implement everything that she's given her. Because what do we know, right? We know that implementation equals confidence, that we will get more results as we are inspired to lead and take those actionable steps. Gamification works perfect because it builds on our core drivers that motivate people to act in a certain way. So we all have things that we value. We all have things that we believe in. And once you know your customer and you're able to tap into those things, it's pretty transformative for everybody involved. So some of the examples, I posted this 3 weeks ago. I sent you an email about it, and I posted it in the Facebook group, and I posted it on my page, and my personal page blew up, right? And maybe let's see if we can screen share it and just pull it up real quick, because it is pretty a good example of a gamification in terms of motivating people to do the best that they can, to motivating people to, let's see. We're plugged in right there. Okay. We did a quiz, might be too far down. We did a quiz on what company has gamified their results to make over hundreds of millions of dollars in just 5 days, right? 5 to 8 days. And it was a movie, right? I'm going to break it down for you right here. And the movie is The Dark Knight. It was The Dark Knight that did that. And it's really cool because, let me move this picture screen here, is that they grossed $314 million in 10 days. This was in 2018. And at this time, this record hadn't have been broken before. Let me pull this up and get us going in the other Facebook group. So understanding that gamification can motivate us to give our customers the results that they want. There we go. We were on my personal page. I'm sorry about that. But we will finish this up and go back over it. Okay, so we talked about, what did they do to gross that much? During 2008, there had never been a movie that grossed into the hundreds of millions of dollars in it was 200 million in 5 days. And then another 5 days, it was 100 million. Now, there have been studies and there have been breaking office box numbers since The Dark Knight, but it was literally The Dark Knight that broke all records. And there's a reason why they did, and it's because 15 months before the movie came out, they started to gamify their campaign to get people involved, to get people inspired. And Hollywood said it is one of the most interactive movie campaigns ever hatched by Hollywood. So this is really interesting because inside of The Dark Knight, what they did is they launched a game and 11 million people signed up immediately, and they gave them tasks to perform. They gave them assignments to perform, and then they rewarded them at Comic-Con and other places where they knew that they would be around each other. And they brought it to life. They encouraged people to paint their face like Joker and go out to these iconic places around the world, because it was an internationally launched campaign, and take selfies and post them to boards. So not only were they getting social proof for this campaign, but the buzz they prepared was 15 months out. And when you think about the money that a company can make from producing a movie, it's pretty crazy to think about the ability and the importance of marketing something out sooner, right? Depending on like what they were spending. So that's pretty cool. A lot of people guessed Avengers, and Avengers has broken records. It broke the 1 billion mark really quickly, but they also spent 300 million on their marketing. The Dark Knight didn't spend as much money, and they were very methodical about gamifying the experience, okay? It was so good that their marketing campaign won an award and has proven the gold standard in participation campaigns. So it is, if you get a chance and you're really get savvy into gamification and done for you gamification, you can research that and really see the power that it created. And if you go to their website, it says a transmedia experience with over 10 million participants in over 75 countries that played across 100 of web pages, interactive games, mobile phones, print, email, world record events, video, and unique collectibles. That's huge, right? They gave their users a phone number and they sent them to a location, a GPS coordinates, and prior the campaign, the marketing campaign managers found bakeries all over the world and asked them to put cell phones inside of the cakes. And then when these big fans were inside of the bakery, they were told to call the number, and the phone inside the cake would start ringing. The cake would start ringing. And you can see these videos of people tearing through the cake and pulling out the phone in a Ziploc bag and opening it up and calling it and hearing Joker or hearing Harvey Dent talk. And so it was really this mass-wide thing that they did that knocked it out of the ballpark, right? In 2008, nobody had grossed over $100 million in 5 days. Nobody. So the power of gamification brought people together all over the world. It was able to motivate them by creating games, and they used so many different methods to get there. So that was such a powerful example. I'm going to start over real quick for any of those that jumped on late, and we'll review this. If you were here from the beginning, you can go ahead and pop off. But inside of here, we're talking about the 3 reasons why you need to reward your customers to increase revenue. And a little bit about me. I thought I hired a gamification coach earlier this year. I was really excited to gamify some products, and I love gamification. I had studied about it. I learned about the Joker method in a marketing book, and I saw what it did, and it really excited me. And so I reached out to someone that said they were a gamification expert, and we got on a call. And I paid her money, and then she told me what to do to gamify, and I realized that I was already doing those things, so that I knew more about gamification than she did because I was obsessed with it. So I'm giving you just like a little bit of background about me. I'm very competitive. I come from a family of 8 kids. My parents had 8 kids in 11 years. I'm the second oldest. So like I just love motivating myself, and I am motivated by external rewards more than myself. So if I know I'm going to be in a competition with someone, it's more exciting than if it's like, hey, challenge yourself to do this. I'm working on internally motivating myself, but I know that when you have accountability, you do way more. And that's why gamification works. So I was played soccer my whole life. And then when I was a freshman, I got an academic and athletic full ride scholarship to play soccer. My freshman year, I was #1 in the nation for goals and assists. I felt like my world, like all the stars aligned, like I'm fulfilling my purpose in the world. So that's a little bit about me, that I am motivated by fun, and that I took a strength finder test earlier this year after my gamification coach didn't really give me the results we had talked about. And the number one thing, my strength, was ideation. And I knew that. I knew I was able to produce ideas for people, but I didn't know the power of it until I had taken this test and this assessment. And then I really started to realize I've been helping people gamify their marketing strategies for the past 2 years. And that's how the gamification agency came about. After my disappointment with not being able to gamify things more than what I could myself, I realized I had it all inside of me. I went ahead earlier this month and finished my gamification certification for level 1. I'll be getting more gamification certifications because it's fun, right? I'm motivated by fun. So that's a little bit about me. I wanted to talk about the 3 reasons why you need to reward your customers to increase revenue inside of your business. It's really important to know the hard truth about launching anything inside of your business. If you're launching a course without gamification, it is the same as launching ads without a Facebook pixel. Now, if you don't run ads and you don't do courses, this might be hard to understand, but I'll break it down for you. A pixel is a small piece of code inside of your website that Facebook gives you, or any type of social media platform, and it tracks everything. You guys know this because you'll say a word and then you'll get on Facebook and you'll see an ad for something. A pixel collects all the data. When you sign up for these social media accounts, you click that you understand, you consent, you agree. That gives people like us information so we can target things for you that we think are a good fit for you. Okay. So when you're launching something in your business, whether it's a program or a course or offer or service, and you don't have any way to track how people are doing, it's no bueno. And people do it all the time. And data is just another form of gamification. Analytics help you optimize your future offers. And that data really allows you to motivate people to take action inside your business, inside your offer, so they get results, inspire them to keep going, inspire them to become, and engage them in the content that you have. It's really important that gamification, your data allows you to empower them to have those results so they feel like it was worth it to even work with you. How many times have you ever bought something online and then you never even finish it? It happens to so many people, and it's time to stop, right? So we're going to go through the 3 reasons why gamification works and what you can do. Number one reason why it works is that people need to be motivated. This is just from the history of time. People want to be led. All through history, we see that people either followed a king or a magistrate or what do they call it? A lord of the land, where they want to be directed. And it's even better if they can follow someone who's done it before. And if you are able to gamify your previous steps to give people results, then it's game over, pun intended, right? So motivates people to achieve their own goals. This is a really important aspect inside of gamification, because you're finding that sweet spot between the goals of your individual, the student or the client, and the goals of you as the CEO, business owner, or course creator. And this is why people buy your courses. They want to get results, right? They want to get goals. So if you can gamify that for them and help them feel empowered to get those results, and it helps you because you are using your gamification strategy to move them up your value ladder. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful process, and it's a journey everyone deserves to go through if they're going to spend time investing in what you're offering. Number 2, people like to be engaged and they want to be empowered. People want to feel purpose in the world. This is why people buy stuff all the time. There's reasons in the human psychology of why people buy. And there's 10 of them, right? That's what the offer box is based off of. People want to gain social status. They want to save money. They want to make money. They want to save energy. They want to escape pain. They want to get closer to pleasure. So all these things bring people closer to their purpose. So people yearn for purpose, and gamification allows people to have purpose because you're giving them direction and you are leading them. Simple tasks help the brain learn over time and retain. So you've heard me talk about this before about binge and buy method, and this really fit in a sweet spot with gamification, because when you give people simple tasks, they're going to remember those experiences versus having to watch 68 hours of this training that you gave and you repurposed for them, right? So understanding that simple tasks will help them learn and retain. It's a no-brainer when you think about if there's competition out there that are selling the similar things to you, whether you do funnel building or you're selling your information online, how many people are actually doing things to help people learn and retain so that it increases their loyalty to them, which is the next part. It also taps into the brain's ancestral status of power reward system. So we know from the beginning of time, right? Before participation points came out, people were rewarded for their hard work. And we're reclaiming that. We're fighting against participation points. Studies show that when participation trophies or participation points are given out to everybody, the people who won feel like their work didn't matter, right? And the people who got participation points or trophies also realized they didn't have to work as hard. So we're throwing rocks at that, and we're fighting back at that, and we're saying that, you know, the powerful reward system, we want to be able to reward people who take the actionable steps that we give them. Gamification also decreases stress or fatigue associated with learning. Have you ever not really finished a course because you were just so overwhelmed by all the content, or it stressed you out like, oh, I know I need to watch this and it's not going to be fun? It shouldn't be like that, right? Learning should be fun. Learning is fun. The third one is that people want to be inspired. So have you ever looked up YouTube videos to be inspired? I have. And I'm scouring and I'm thinking, like, why am I in all these places when I've been inspired by other people inside of their programs? So being deliberate about your gamification strategy, you can improve user experience, engagement, loyalty, and satisfaction to the point that when people want to be inspired, they come back to your course, they come back to your Facebook group, they come back to your live videos, because you have improved the user experience, engagement, loyalty, and satisfaction. Also, when you start using gamification in your business, people are going to be on pins and needles. Like, what is she going to offer? Like, we got to get on this call because we don't know exactly, like, is there an Easter egg? Is there a surprise? So it's pretty powerful. Gamification works because it builds on core drivers that motivate people to act in a certain way. So we all want to get results in our life. We all want to get closer to those things that we value. We all have reasons that we buy, but what if we can motivate people to get those exact results that they want by giving them the simple tasks to take action and rewarding them with it? And so I was thinking, I've shared some examples of like the Dark Knight. Another one is like Planet Fitness. I do that in the mornings for like an hour, and I get 3 points every time that I log in, everything that I check in. And Chick-fil-A, my kids love Chick-fil-A. So we get points that when we get enough points, we get free food, right? So a lot of companies are employing points systems, credit cards, to be able to motivate people to take, let's go back to that last one because they're gamifying, to motivate people to act in a certain way, right? So we are hacking through the corporate world and figuring out what do they do to motivate their consumers, and we're using those gamification principles to do that. And it is through gamification principles that we motivate people to take those actions and get the results that they need to move forward and create that massive success that they need. Tomorrow's bootcamp, we're going to talk about the PBL formula, the points, the badges, the levels, and the leaderboards that you can create in your business to create identity shifts and prepare people to do more of your trainings and more of your offers. Let me just plug in to the comments really quick and see if people have any questions here. Perfect. Okay. Yes, Amber, I went live in my personal page. Isn't that funny? I mean, so I'll have a replay of this and it will go in a full loop. Okay. So the takeaways here are to think about what are you doing inside of your business to motivate people, right? What are you doing to create purpose for people? Because you can do the duality. You can do both things where people feel purpose in your business, but then they want to serve you. They want to do the things that you tell them to do because you know that they're going to get results. But then people are all trying to achieve their own things. And as we focus on these two things, we're really able to give people the results that they want and also help them to be inspired. And tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about that, and understand that it is through gamification that allows us to motivate people. It allows us to help them get results, right? It allows us to be able to prosper, right? Let me check the Facebook group to see if there's any questions. Yeah, Jenna says gamification creates purpose. That's such a good quote. And I think like purpose is what helps us get out of bed. Purpose is what helps us create more content. Purpose is what fuels our passions. And so if we can dig into that, in fact, on Wednesday, we'll talk about creating an identity shift for your customers through gamification. And in that process, we will be able to uncover what are the alter egos that people want to shift into, right? Like they want to become experts or they want to become these boss babes or these, authentic boss entrepreneurs. What are things that we can do to help people step into those identity shifts to get the results that they want and to keep them having a user experience that keeps them not only loyal to our business, but getting the results that they need. So I'll put a watch party in here for the replay and let me know if you guys have any questions. I will hang on for 1 or 2 minutes to see if there's any questions that people have. Tomorrow will be really fun. The points and leaderboards are all built in with the Gamification Academy. So they're things that we plug in for our clients all the time that help you to give people the results without you having to sit at your computer all day, and really powerful. So thank you guys for joining this training. Love you guys. Peace out.